Emma stopped in front of the large mirror, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. Who would have ever thought that this day would come? The invitation to James and Rachel's wedding was right there in her hand, and with it, an avalanche of memories, disappointments, and feelings that she had tried to bury for a long time. He had two options: remain in the shadows as he always had, or face the ghosts of the past once and for all. Before continuing, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next exciting stories. Enjoy! Emma had always been a quiet girl, one of those people who go unnoticed, but who, once you get to know them, turn out to be special. Her life had been a succession of thoughtful choices, study, and dedication. She had never tried to be the best, but her talent and intelligence had led her to achieve success, even without ever making a noise. On the contrary, Rachel, her best friend from the past, was a force of nature. Rebellious, charming, and charismatic, Rachel had always had a knack for attracting attention wherever she went. She never went unnoticed, and this had often put her at odds with Emma's more reserved approach. Despite their differences, they had been inseparable throughout their school years, a bond that seemed unbreakable. Everything changed when Emma met James. He was everything Rachel had ever wanted: handsome, ambitious, and already on the path to a successful career. Emma and James quickly fell in love and soon became a solid couple. They lived together in a house outside Siena, where they spent their evenings watching the sunset, planning a future together. Life seemed perfect, but that perfection did not go unnoticed by the people who envied Rachel. Emma never imagined that her friend would try to sabotage her happiness. But Rachel, unable to accept that Emma had found the love of her life, began to insinuate herself into her and James's relationship. At first, they were just subtle comments, playful jokes, but as time went on, her influence over James grew. Rachel was good at manipulating, making James believe that Emma wasn't the right person for him, and James slowly began to look at Emma differently. Their once strong love crumbled. Emma found herself alone, unable to understand how her relationship had ended, and more importantly, how her best friend could have done such a thing to her. When James told her that it was over between them, Emma felt her world falling apart. What really broke her heart, however, was finding out that shortly after, Rachel and James had gotten together. For months, Emma tried to recover. She devoted herself to work, hoping that time would heal her wounds, but the wedding invitation in her hands now reopened every old scar. And now, how could she handle this humiliation? It was then that Henry, her boss, approached. Henry had always been kind to her, a very successful man, but humble and respectful. He asked her if everything was okay, and when he saw her eyes shining, he proposed something unexpected. "Come with me to the wedding. We'll make them jealous," he said with a smile. But Emma couldn't help but burst into tears. Henry was serious. His proposal seemed crazy, but also incredibly tempting. Emma thought long and hard, and finally, she decided to accept. It was time to face the past, no longer as the broken girl, but as a woman who had found her strength again. The wedding day arrived, and Siena looked more beautiful than ever. The ceremony took place in a luxurious villa filled with smiling guests. James and Rachel anxiously awaited Emma's arrival, convinced that she would not have the courage to show up. But when a luxury limousine pulled up to the gate, their world fell apart. Emma stepped out of the car, looking stunning in a breathtaking gown. At her side, Henry, a man admired and respected by all, with a knowing smile on his lips. If you are enjoying the story, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next emotions. Thanks for your support. James and Rachel gasped, unable to hide their surprise. Rachel, who had always considered herself superior, now found herself looking at Emma in a new light. No longer as the shy, insecure girl she had known, but as a woman who exuded confidence and beauty. Anger and jealousy crossed her face, while James, on the other hand, was beginning to realize how wrong he had been. Emma and Henry approached the newlyweds calmly, greeting the other guests with smiles and jokes. When they reached James and Rachel, Emma looked them straight in the eyes, and with a sweet but firm smile, made them pale. "Happy birthday. I hope you're happy." The words seemed to resonate in the air, heavy and sharp. Henry, for his part, added a final blow to their pride. "Emma will be the new manager of our branch. I think we will see each other often, James." James's face twisted into an expression of discomfort. How could he have let a woman like Emma slip away? And now, not only had she found someone better, she was going to be his new superior. Rachel, unable to bear the humiliation, walked away from the scene. But deep down, she knew she would never be able to dominate Emma like she once did. The party continued with music, dancing, and laughter. Everyone seemed to be having fun, except the two spouses, who, separated from the guests, found themselves on the sidelines, overwhelmed by remorse and jealousy. While James realized the mistake he had made, Rachel could not accept that Emma, her old friend, had won once again. But that night did not belong to them. That night was for Emma, and she lived it with a light heart and an open mind. Henry and Emma danced for hours, losing themselves in smiles and affectionate gestures. What had started as an evening of revenge turned into the beginning of something real and profound. They understood each other with a look. They were no longer pretending. Their bond was authentic, and what was supposed to be revenge against the past had turned into the first step towards a happy future.